When it's overtime and your team is scrambling, only the best teams are able to recompose and pull off an implausible play. On the first map between the Philadelphia Fusion and the Los Angeles Gladiators in the Melee quarterfinals, the Gladiators were just one fight away from grabbing the first round against the Fusion on Lijiang Tower. Having just been removed from the point, the Fusion didn't even have time to take a full 6 versus 6 team fight, and just desperately had to play to trigger overtime. Even if they did, the Fusion somehow had to find value with only a Blizzard against an array of powerful ultimates from the Gladiators. First things first though, overtime is a necessity for Philly, and someone needs to touch the point. To do so, Sato switches to the Wrecking Ball and charges forward straight into the lines of the Gladiators. Despite the best efforts and boops of the defending Los Angeles team, Sato is able to use his pile driver to create an opening just large enough to get to the point in the nick of time. Although he's dispatched quickly by the Gladiators, now Hisu can reach the objective and buy time with the invulnerability provided to him by his Wraith form. By the time Hisu's Wraith form expires and he's vulnerable, the Gladiators aren't able to chase him down for the elimination because now the Fusion have the majority of their team back and are ready to take a haphazard fight. It doesn't start off well for the Fusion, with Funny Astro getting a taste of his typical medicine by being booped off the map, and thus to even have a chance in a 4v6 situation, Ivy has to invest his Blizzard early. Most of the Gladiators are able to avoid it, but Mirror is not so lucky. To keep the dynamic power of LA's Doomfist alive, Big Goose is forced to use the sound barrier and provide shielding to Mirror while he's frozen. And this is where the Gladiators make their first mistake. Despite the sound barrier landing onto the whole LA team, and that being more than enough to sustain for a few seconds, Shaz immediately popped the Coalescence. Although it helps him deal a bit of damage and makes sure that under the shields everyone is healed to full health, it's ultimately unnecessary at this point of the fight. Despite some subpar ult usage though, with their ult advantage, the Gladiators are able to push forward with Birdwing's Death Blossom and remove most of the Fusion, but two key members escape. First is Alarm, who jumps and uses Moira's Fade ability to escape to the opposite side of the pond, and will be able to rejoin the fight later. More critical in the interim is Hisu towards the back of the objective. Hisu is able to continue overtime by being on the point and even extends that time with his Wraith form, which is back off cooldown. By the time Hisu is able to be eliminated by the Gladiators, Sato has returned yet again for another bit of stalling. And unlike last time, the Gladiators don't immediately focus him down. Instead, they see Alarm on the Moira, far from the objective, and attempt to convert onto that elimination. Yet another slip up from the LA team, as Alarm is able to once again fade away from danger due to the ability's low cooldown, and now Sato is able to play Ring Around the Rosie with the Gladiators, who lack a reliable means of stopping his momentum. With this setup, Sato is able to stall long enough for the Fusion to regroup again and take their second full fight of this overtime. And now, they'll even have resources to gain the advantage. Alarm, having survived so long, is able to finish charging his own Coalescence and can now give Philly the greater sustain on the point. Mirror, in desperation, tries to eliminate this advantage from the Fusion's field of play, but whiffs his Rocket Punch. With all Mirror's other abilities on cooldown, Alarm can easily hose him down and take out the Gladiator's Doomfist. Even though Mirror is able to pull the attention of Alarm and his healing away from the Fusion, Funny Astro is able to drop the beat and give the Fusion shielding of their own. Despite the best efforts of Space with his self-destruct and Shaz with a second Coalescence, the Gladiators are wiped off the point. The Philadelphia Fusion flip the objective, win the round, and ultimately take the first map in their quarterfinal series.